Hey there, it is Sunday morning, and I don't have a main channel video for today. I'm still working on my new speakers, and gotta admit I'm taking my time a little bit with those. But I'm doing other things in the meantime um, as well. Like for instance, yesterday I spent the entire day building another project for my original idea was to make it yesterday and then edit it. I thought I would have it done in time to edit and then release this morning, but I didn't get it done until later. So I'm going to hold on to it until next weekend and release it then. It's a interesting one. Not very big because bigger projects don't do any good for me. So quick and easy and useful and a shop project, so should do well. But like I said, I'm working still on my new speakers, and the shop is an absolute mess. I would normally cut in a video of me showing the shop to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, but I'm too ashamed. I'm too embarrassed. It's really bad. It's the worst. It's the baddest. It's the worst it's been since before I moved. My old shop. Really, before I got into being on YouTube too much, my old shop was a garage, same as this, but bigger. And it was a bigger mess. I mean, it was deep. You had to wear hiking boots to get through the mess that was on the floor. Work boots is what I was wearing. So, yeah, shop is bad, in bad shape. And I know the title of the video is I'm not going to clean up my shop anymore. And I know that's not going to happen. I'm going to have to clean it up eventually. It's just I got too much stuff in here. What happened is, okay, I had stuff in here before. I kept adding to it. I bought some lumber for another project. That's over there. It won't fit in my lumber rack because that's completely full. That entire wall there is full of lumber. I bought that flooring for my listing room in the basement. I did the floor, but I still have some left over. And there's the big longer pieces stacked up over there, well, leaned up against the wall anyway. And there are pieces of it, the shorter pieces, that I'll still be able to use, of course. I'm not throwing anything away. Are stacked up on the other side of my table saw and leaning over there, and they're all over the place. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, at this point, I'm gonna wait until the spring before I actually give it a good thorough cleaning. Open the back window here, put a fan in the door, blow it out all the dust, get it nice and spick and span. Gotta be careful here, I don't knock half of this stuff that I've got piled up here off trying to get to this. It's the new tool that I just bought. Makita electric planer. It's the battery powered one. I have, hang on, I'll get it. The corded one that I've had for a very long time, but as you can see, it's got a little bit of a finish on here. This is actually a body filler, a big gallon can of body filler. I would keep this in my truck, and the body filler in the back of the truck too. The body filler tipped over, the lid wasn't on there properly, and it leaked out all over it. So I thought about scraping it off, and I got some of it off, but the rest of it I just left. I talked about this in another video. I'm pretty sure it was on this channel. But yeah, it's covered. It still works. That's not a problem. I just recently changed the knives on here. And but I want to use this for a stationary jointer, edger type thing. And I talked about that idea before, trying to build it into my miter saw station. So I'm still thinking about that, or another possibility is building some kind of a fence that goes on my table saw, that this thing is inside, pointing the right way, obviously, and builds it up with a little bit of a platform, say 8 or 10 inches wide, to set the board on to get the edge, to plane the edge. So these are, you know, ideas I've been kicking around, and I'll be using this one for it. So when you, like, it's possible to make it so that you can take it out and put it back. But what I found with situations like that is that they don't work in the long run. You want something set up and ready to go. And if this is inside the fence of a thing that goes on the table saw, all I need to do is, say, reach underneath the table saw where it is, pull it out and put it up, and I'm good to go, right? Lock it in place, same locking mechanism as my table saw fence. So I'll be able to use that to make the edges of boards perfectly straight. All right, which is an issue with my jointer because the bed is pretty short. And this one I can make longer, and also be easier to manage. Like my jointer, I have to pull it out and set it up in a place where I have enough in-feed and out-feed. And then the bed is short, like I said, so it's not really good for longer boards. And that was the concept here, to either do it on the table saw or on the miter saw. So if I do that with this, then I need to have one to use, because I do use this tool quite often. And this is not the first battery powered of these I have or had. I had one before, and I used for the business, the doors and hardware business. And when I left the business, it stayed in the business, and it went to my brother. He still has it. And it's the same model, I'm pretty sure. But I've been watching this, and it went down in price by 20 bucks, so I grabbed it up. Not sponsored or anything. Not sponsored. I bought this one because I have the batteries, and it was a good price. Would I buy the DeWalt? I haven't tried the DeWalt. But the advantage of the DeWalt is that it would take these batteries, and I have like 3 of these, I think. And these are good batteries. I gotta say, DeWalt really went out of the way to make good batteries here. And the drill itself is good. That's the reason why I'm using the tools. Like, people ask about tool reviews. If you see me using a tool, that's because it's working for me. If I'm not using a tool, like I stopped using the Makita impact driver and drill that I was using for years because they stopped working, right? Now, if this stops working and I have to replace it, then I'll try another brand. I have not, you know, married to any brands. The advantage of staying with a brand in the power, the cordless thing, is the batteries, right? They kind of got you hooked there. But then if you have 2, then you have options, right? Now, to be honest, I never checked if DeWalt even has a cordless planer, because I used this one before, the same model, and had good results. But like I also said before, it's tool to tool dependent. I've had 2 impact drivers. One was fantastic, and if you look at the other one, you would swear they're exactly the same, but the other one was a total dog, a real lemon. So you have to go tool by tool. I mean, reviews are handy in some regards. They'll tell you about the features, but then you can read about that. I mean, you see a lot of that. People just, I don't know, they like listening to people talk about tools. And I've never been into that, talking about tools or listening to people talk about tools. Homemade tools, yes, but not ones you buy. You know, I obviously like and use tools, but that aspect of it I'm not into. So you're probably saying, what the heck are you going to use this thing for? Are you going back to hanging doors and so on? Well, I got news for you, my friends. This can be used in place of this. And this is fast, and this is slow. This takes very little effort, while this can wear you out. So whenever I got to freehand plane the edge of anything, or even the face to try to level it before I run it through the planer, I'm using this. And if you're working with rough lumber often, which I am now, you use this pretty often.
Feelings can sometimes pull one out of the now and put them in the then.
Yeah, I don't...
Live in the now, not in the then.
I don't want to be in the then. I want to be in the now.
Talking about the now can sometimes put one in the then.
I don't want to be in the then. I want to be in the now, not the then. I want to move forward.
Don't move too far forward.
I
You'll
don't want
find
to move
yourself
forward.
right out of the now.
I don't want to move too far forward.